Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Nerd Lab Podcast, Episode 2. My name is Brian.
I'm Eli.
I'm Adam.
All right, so today we're going to be going over a 32 card tournament to start. March Madness is here, and March Magic Madness is also here. So what we're going to do is we're taking the top 32 cards according to EDH Rec, and we're going to do a tournament with them, and we're going to go in Wooburg order, starting with white. Are we going to do colorless?
I don't think we're doing colors. I think we're just doing colors.
All right, to be determined on the colorless part. But before we get into that, our new extra other host, I don't want to say co-host, because like as if I'm the main host, we're all co-hosts, right? Co-hosting. So our third co-host is Adam. Adam has been a friend of mine for a very long time. Are you comfortable with me saying where we live? Not address, but the city we live in? Okay. When I first moved to Memphis, Tennessee, he was literally the first person I met here. We lived in an apartment complex. There was a pool, and there was an Adam in the pool, and
he couldn't resist.
we shared greetings and salutations, and we didn't become friends right away, but eventually we did become friends, and
Yes, we did.
yeah,
The rest is
Start off lovers.
so I've known him. I've known him a long time. We literally bought our very first Magic cards together. So we had the same friend that brought us into the game of Magic, then abandoned us. If you're out there, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
Freaking Jeff. Brought us into Magic and then like immediately was like, all right, I'm out of this. And we started playing. The two of us plus one more friend went to a place it was then called Comic Cellar, now Cellar. And we bought our very first, you spent what, $15? $15 whole dollars?
If it was even that high back then.
It was $10 or $15 for one of those.
It was an intro pack. I've had the Ghoul Tree intro pack from Dark Ascension.
Yeah. So Dark Ascension is what we came in on.
Yep.
Innistrad had like literally just finished. This was week 1 of Dark Ascension. There were people there doing pre-release as we got there. And I mean, this is how dumb I was when it comes to Magic. I bought this $20 deck because it had Inkmoth Nexus. Was that the name of the card?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, which was a kind of expensive card. So $20 for this mono red burn deck. And I brought it up to the counter and said, like, is this the kind of deck that I can like customize? You know? Can I customize this Magic deck?
No.
And he looked at me and was like, yeah, I think you can. So that was me making an idiot of myself when we very first started. Anyway, so what we do, Adam, and we're going to do for every new person on this podcast, is we're going to ask them 2 questions. 1, what was your first ever commander? And number 2, who was your current favorite commander? So, first ever commander.
Our first ever commander was Krinko Mob Boss. So, old goblins. Turn Krinko sideways, make goblins, and then turn them sideways to deal damage. Pretty simple and straightforward, but won a lot of games with it, thanks to your Najeela deck.
You're welcome. I had a really strong Najeela Blade Blossom, which just her as a commander strong. You don't have to build strong around her. Her as a commander strong. And I bought her not knowing how strong she was. I was just like, ooh, tokens. And she's in Wooburg, so I can literally pick whatever colors I want for tokens. And then I just found out about infinite combat steps. And everyone, after I won like the first 3 games we played with her. And then everyone just started killing me like immediately.
And it's been the same for the next 5 years.
Yeah, and then I come in and clean up for the win.
Yeah, so use all the resources on me. And Adam would swoop in, get the win.
Yep, that extra mana for Krinko really paid off.
Yeah, right. Just put you one turn behind me. Is mono red still your favorite way to play?
I don't even know if it's my favorite way to play. It's just,
you have a lot of mono red decks.
Yeah, I just find these commanders that have cool synergies, and they happen to be mono red. Like I don't think like, ooh, I want to play red. It's just like those commanders seem interesting.
It just so happens that all the mono red ones are interesting.
Yeah. Working on the new Krinko right now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I got one that's goblins. I got one that's kind of a spell slinger. I got one that's burn, and the new one's going to be artifacts. Yeah. But they're all mono red.
Yeah, different play styles, different decks, all mono red. So
Yep.
whenever we get to the red set of cards for the red tournament,
I will know nothing.
you'll be the expert. Favorite, if it's not Krinko, then who's your favorite commander currently?
Currently, it's probably Atla.
Yeah.
Atla Palani Nest Tender. That's just a lot of fun. Just kind of the visual of I'm throwing eggs at people to make them break open, and then out comes Avacyn, Angel of Hope. It's
not Avacyn. You know which angel it is every single time.
Yeah.
Sari Missari.
Yeah. Figure more people know who Avacyn is. So
Yeah.
it's the idea of the deck, not
Right.
90% of the time. The first creature I turn over is Sarah's Emissary. I don't know how it happens.
Very, very strong card. We have a couple of gameplays recorded that we will start posting once we get a few of them in the bank. And Atla was your first one you played on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So makes sense. We're gonna see a Krinko Mob Boss showing.
Yeah, maybe more than one.
You gonna do high end Krinko or so he made a Krinko deck that's specifically for beginners, and it's strong, it's easy, it's a really good intro into Magic.
I call it Combat Krinko.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get a combat Krinko.
Yeah, and then the high end one is Combo Krinko. Does all the combo Goblin combo shenanigans.
Yeah. You said both were spelled with a K?
Yes, spell both with a K.
Perfect.
Mortal Kombat Krinko.
All right, well, that's everything you need to know about Adam. That's as interesting as he gets. So
It's true.
Let's get into.
Let's go to the other more interesting co-host.
All right, Eli, what you got for us, man?
So like Brian said, we're doing brackets, and I made up a list of 32 cards pulled from the top 32 from the EDH Rec, and I used a random number generator and put them in a random order, and we're going to have these cards going at each other head to head. And I know what cards are there. They're coming in cold, so we're going to get first-time reactions to these matchups.
And,
All right.
And how are we determining who wins the matchup?
Okay, so we are going not the best card. I think that would be too easy to figure out.
Yeah.
So we are going
Smothering Tithe?
Yeah, Smothering Tithe, obviously. We're going favorite card. Yeah. So that could if best is your favorite, that's fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to discuss it, but we're going to have a link to a tournament bracket that Eli already set up. So you, the lucky viewers, that we need you to go in there and vote. Hey, and while you're down there, might as well like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know what your favorite card of all the ones we revealed are. But hit the link and go ahead and give us a vote, and we will find out who wins.
Yeah.
And we'll do another podcast. I think we're going to do blue next.
Yep.
So maybe we'll combine, depending on how it goes, maybe we'll combine the round 2 of white and blue. We'll figure it out and let you know.
Yeah.
But all right, let's hit round 1.
Round 1, first bracket.
Round 1, fight.
Yeah. Swords to Plowshare versus Grand Abolisher.
Swords to Plowshare versus That's a good one. That's a really good one. You want to read to us exactly what they do?
Sure. Grand Abolisher is, during your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Swords to Plowshare is exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power.
Man, this is a tough one. Adam, you got any initial reactions?
Yeah, it's kind of tough with the. Let's see, I can protect my board, and the plays that I want to make during my turn, or your targeted removal. I think the more interesting card is obviously going to be Grand Abolisher.
I think so.
So I think I would lean Grand Abolisher here.
Yeah, the Swords to Plowshare. You said gain life,
Gain
right?
life, yeah.
So Swords to Plowshare does have some interesting aspects to it. I have saved my own life by swordsing my own creature.
I think you did it just last week.
Yeah, I did I did it on Saturday. So I did it a few days ago.
You're 8 power commander. Let me gain 8 life before everything dies.
Yeah, it at least got me second, which will be relevant in the near future.
It could matter soon.
It will be relevant in the new
Details coming soon.
Yeah, in the near future. So so swords. I like swords more. I think you're right that Grand Abolisher is more interesting, and I do love anything that's going to protect my win con. But swords is so versatile. It just goes in every deck. I feel like. And
Yeah.
Grand Abolisher is 2 white pips, isn't it?
Yes. I believe it's white and colorless.
So it's not 2 white pips. You just said yes, and then said it's white.
Well,
and
I always
colorless.
say yes, but let me double check. No, it is 2 white
Okay.
pips.
Eli, the yes man.
Yeah. Yes, it is 2 white pips. 1 white and 1 colorless.
We all know I have the tick where I go, yeah, no, whenever I disagree.
Okay.
All right, so the 2 white pips does make it a little harder. Nowadays, it's not as big of a deal, but sometimes it's relevant if it's not in a 1 or 2 color deck. So I'm gonna go with swords, S-words.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with swords, but I'm going to be more mean about it. I just think it's fun, like, to watch someone try to activate their win con, and if it's a creature, just watching you use swords that creature and just watch the hope drain from their eyes as they realize, I'm not going to win this turn this game.
You are evil. The exile part also, because they're like, oh, it's indestructible, so it's safe. That feeling of being safe is going to help them lose their hope and their joy, which brings you hope and joy.
Yes.
So. All right. Next up.
Let's do it. Generous gift versus smothering tithe.
So targeted removal versus the best white card.
First, yeah, not just the best white card, the best card in existence, the best card ever printed. Smothering Tithe is my favorite card. It's amazing. I love it.
Yes. Generous gift is destroy target permanent. Its controller gets a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Smothering Tithe.
Someone would draw a card. They either have to pay you 2 or you get a treasure.
Yes, there it is. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2.
I feel like they're paying me, honestly, but I guess they're technically paying me.
I mean, if you, if they pay 2, you get a treasure. Sure. Or they don't pay 2, you get a treasure.
Yeah. I mean, you guys already know what I'm gonna say, so. Or let's let Eli go first.
Yeah. I mean, I know I was just mean about the Swords of Plowshare, but like, I just really enjoy Smothering Tithe because there's just so much you could do with that. Like, you can get your token doublers out and just make hundreds of treasure tokens. There are a whole lot of creatures out there, like Benny Brax, where whenever you make a token, you it's each end step, right?
Each end step. Yep.
Yeah, each end step you get to draw a card, so you're drawing a card after every person's end step.
If your creature gets removed, you do.
That's also true. But like, your generous gift is only one activation of that. Smothering Tithe can be.
Oh, Smothering Tithe. I thought you were talking about generous gift.
No, Smothering Tithe can be 3 different ones.
Right.
Yeah. No, Smothering Tithe is great because it sets up every play. Like anything you want to do, you can do with Smothering Tithe. And I love, especially because it's in token synergy, I love to create multiple Smothering Tithes. And then now it's like, okay, I would have paid for 1, but I don't want to pay for 2 or 3 or 4 Smothering Tithes. And you get to this point with Smothering Tithe where people are just like, it's not even worth worrying about if I can pay the 2. You have so many treasures. It's usually about 10 treasures. And they're just like, forget it. I'm just not paying it all. Don't worry about it. Don't even ask me. And they just get mad at you asking them. And I need a shirt that says, do you want to pay the 2?
You keep asking anyway.
Yes. That's fun.
Yeah. What about you, Adam?
I just think Grand Abolisher is...
I mean, it's the 2 white pips. You just love the 2 white pips.
Something about pips. I don't know. No, Smothering Tithe. I don't think there's anything I need to add here. Smothering Tithe is...
Yeah, well, since it's the last we're going to see, because there's no way no one else votes for Generous Gift, since the last we're going to see of Generous Gift, I also love Generous Gift. It's one of my favorite removal pieces because it has versatility, but also I'm the politician, right? So I like to, if I can destroy one of your things, be like, I'm still giving you something. Like it takes the sting away a little bit.
You propose the play, like, hey, you want a token?
Yeah.
You need a creature. I got your creature right here. And your generous gift, and they get a creature.
Yeah, and then when they're all mad and salty, like you said, you wanted it. Like it's your fault. You make it their fault. And that's what a good politician does. Is it makes it someone else's fault. You get a 3/3 token, and you're gonna pay for it. All right.
I picked that up at Tulare Community College.
Yeah,
that's where I learned that.
That sounds about. That sounds about right. But yeah, I run both of them in my Felder Grift deck, which is my favorite deck. It's a group hug deck, and Generous Grift is. It's nice to be able to just give somebody a little bit because we have a very salty, easily offended play group. Does that sound about right?
Never.
Like,
yeah.
If you're part of a play group that if you get attacked first, then you're gonna start like, all right, you're my nemesis for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and as a person who likes to attack first, I always become the nemesis for some reason.
Yeah, so to bring back that salt just a little bit can be a big deal. So I do love Generous Gift, but not against Smothering Tithe. All right, next one.
Awesome. We have Akroma's Will versus Sun Titan.
Sun Titan. Akroma's Will versus Sun Titan.
You get some keywords or some different keywords, or if you control your commander, you get all the keywords.
Yeah, read us Akroma's Will. Sun Titan is when he enters in or attacks, you can return a permanent of 3 or less from your graveyard
To the battlefield.
which is
Yes.
strong, but it's a 6 mana card.
Yes.
But I love that ability, especially in white. Though it doesn't get back Smothering Tithe, it does get Monologue Tax, which is Smothering Tithe on a budget.
Yeah, and Akroma's Will is 1 white and 3 colorless. Choose one. If you control a commander, as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Creatures you control gain Flying, Vigilance, and Double Strike until end of turn. Creatures you control gain Lifelink, Indestructible, and Protection from all colors until end of turn.
Yeah, that's so good. It's again versatility. It's a win condition. It's also protection. It's also gave me some life. Like you can use it defensively, offensively. That's really, really strong.
Yeah, I already know. I'm gonna go. Sun Titan's a good card, but I'm gonna go Akroma's Will, because normally when I'm playing it, have like some beefy creatures, or I have a whole bunch of creatures, and there's just something of fun about giving all your creatures all those
Something
keywords.
of fun.
Yeah.
Is there something of fun about the creatures?
Yeah.
I was gonna leave it alone, but okay.
I was not.
Yeah. Giving those creatures like all those keywords and just swinging out, and most likely swinging for the win. It's like you're not even just like, even if you don't win, you get all this benefit. You get all this life from your creature swinging.
And double strike with life.
And double strike with life
is really strong.
Yeah, it's just something that I just enjoy. I enjoy that more than bringing stuff out of my graveyard.
Okay, then question. Is that a win condition that when someone else plays it on you, you're like, that's cool? Or is it like, crap? Is that our scale? Is that a good scale? All cool or no? That's cool or all crap?
I'll do some research. I'll get back to you.
We'll work on that.
I mean,
let us know in the comments down below.
yeah, me personally, I'm fine with it because like it's 4 mana.
Did you hear fine with it? Was that one of the options?
That?
Okay.
Is it more cool?
I feel like it's leaning. That's cool.
Or crap.
So you understand,
that's cool.
Brian? All cool. It's more on that scale.
All right. That's the only way I work. All right, so it's more cool. Nice. That's important because it's not just when we play these cards, but also when people play these cards against us.
Yeah, and it's like most of the time you can sort of like see it coming. When someone starts building up a board, you're like, that's already scary, and normally you're already like facing like impossible odds. But like when that comes out, it's just like, well, there's nothing I can, unless I can counter it or just do something with my creatures, like make them indestructible and can block a whole bunch of creatures. But other than that, I just think it's cool to watch.
Yeah, I like to see more unique win conditions sometimes. That'd be my strike against it. How about you, Adam? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'd go Akroma's Will as well. It's, like you said, it's a win con. It gives you all the keywords, and it's just a fun card to play. And it's like I've lost to it a few times, and it's like, I hate that I lost, but that's a cool card.
Yeah. I think I'm with you. I think Akroma's Will, so when it's played against you, more cool or crap?
I just said.
You say you don't like it, but it's...
I don't like that I lost the game, but that's a cool card.
I'd hope not. I hope no one here is like, yay, I lost the game.
Unless you get second.
All right, go. I'm kind of indifferent about it as far as, like, again, I'd like to see win cons that aren't Akroma's Will, Aether Flux Reservoir, Crater Hoof Behemoth, like the same ones I see over and over again. But of the kind of staple win conditions, that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, but my argument there is like, if someone's for some reason is playing white graveyard, Sun Titan's always usually in there, so it's not like Sun Titan is unique in that.
When's the last time you saw a Sun Titan in our group? When's the last time you saw a white graveyard deck?
Does Orzhov count?
Yeah. Does Orzhov count?
So an Orzhov deck would be the last time?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, even that, I don't see a ton of
And
Orzhov.
I think I saw a
graveyard
Chroma's Will
decks.
in that deck and not
Yeah.
Sun Titan.
Wait, all right. Let's just to give Sun Titan his
Sun Titan.
some compliments. I really enjoy the card. I like it. I don't play it enough because that 6 mana slot is just too difficult to find a card.
It's
to play.
tough
But
to
you're
play
always
with.
playing treasure tokens. You have the mana to play it.
If you guys don't blow up my Smothering Tithes, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to play a value piece at 6 mana.
Yeah. And 3 mana recursion, the good if you're sending lands to your yard, then that's a little different. So
If you can start hitting triggers on Sun Titan immediately and get some kind of engine going, then it's totally worth it. But if you gotta spend 6 mana on this card, even if it's turn 4, turn 5, and you have to wait to attack the next time, like it's just.
well, I mean, you get it on ETB too. So
That's true.
You get an ETB, and if you have land tax, which is a card that I enjoy, if you get land tax, you're usually discarding. You're getting all your lands out of your library, and usually discarding them. So Sun Titan with land tax is a really nice combination. And again, you don't see it as much, so it brings it up, but it's still a Chroma's Will. It's just too strong. So is that a 3-for? Is that 2 3-fers?
If you win a Chroma's Will, then yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to Chroma's Will.
We all agree.
So Chroma's Will is that's cool card for you.
It is that's cool card for me. Like even like I said, even though I see that as a win condition enough, it's still like it does so much. Like it's still kind of cool that it does.
It also
that
just
much.
got reprinted, so everyone's buying it right now.
Yeah, and I liked it. The main thing is I like that it's also can be used as a defensive piece.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put. It's nice to be able to put it in your deck. One of my least favorite things. I don't know if it's my least favorite, but it's near the top of my least favorite things. One of my least favorite things is cutting cards. When you guys are finding cards to cut out of your deck, and so whenever
I don't struggle with that at all.
yeah, I know. Well, normal people do.
Yeah.
Non-mono red.
I just don't change my decks. If it's
So-
not good on the first try, it's not going to be good.
So what's nice about having a card that's a defensive piece as well as a win condition is that it takes 2 slots up.
Yeah.
And it opens up, so it opens up a slot for something else, for Teferi's Protection or, Cavalier, whatever.
Yeah. I know whenever I'm building decks, I usually get to around 102, 103 cards, and I usually have my land set. So then it comes down to I have to remove 3 cards from my deck, and I don't know what cards.
I
want
start
to
like
remove.
150, man. I start so high. I want to put everything in my deck. So okay, speaking of lands, just side note, how many lands do you normally play on average in your decks?
34, 35.
34. 34 is pretty normal. Lands in your decks.
Yeah, I'm probably down to 33, 34 now.
Okay.
I used to be at 37.
Dang. I was at 32, and then I'm up to 33, 34 now, depending on the deck. So changes. Okay, next one.
Cool. We're probably about to agree again, which is so weird, but Anointed Procession versus Ghostly Prison.
Yeah, that's for me. That's a no contest. But Adam.
Yeah, token doubler or pay to attack. So I'm just trying to consider.
Pillow for a token doubler.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to make the argument in my head that Anointed Procession is kind of a niche card to a token deck, but with treasures, clues, and food, and all the other new tokens that they've come out with, it's a lot more versatile than just I'm making creatures, and I can put it in more than just a go-wide strategy.
That's a really good point. Dockside. You're in red and white together. Dockside with Anointed Procession. Crazy good, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, Academy Manufactor. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay. Academy Manufactor. Doesn't matter. It's colorless. So it's going to go in most your white decks that can make any kind of treasure, clue, or food. Most your Simic decks are going to have some sort of food or clue synergy. And then, of course, if you're just playing tokens, then it's incredibly strong. So, yeah, that's It's a good point. What about you?
Yeah, it's doubling tokens is always fun. I have a couple of token doubler decks and annoying procession. If white's in there, it's either Modrak and annoying procession or one or the other.
Yeah,
And so
Mondrak was nice.
Yeah, so anytime I'm doing my token doublers, it's usually going in there. So I'm gonna have to go with annoying procession.
What's your pluses for Ghostly Prison?
I mean, it's just like you said. It's
And that's
Pillow
two.
Fort.
That's 2 to attack
Per creature.
per their creature. They
Yes.
just have to pay 2 to attack. Okay.
Yeah, I think Sphere of Safety is the one that changes.
And for all your enchantments.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, Ghostly Prison. If I'm playing a commander that's higher mana, or I've just got a deck that's a little slower, then I'll probably run Ghostly Prison to help
Get to your Sun Titan.
help stay alive, be able to cast Sun Titan on curve.
Gotta get that on curve Sun Titan, man. It's important.
So, but it's just I run Anointed Procession in decks. I don't think I have Ghostly Prison in a deck currently.
Yeah, what's funny is all the decks I'm running Ghostly Prism in are enchantment decks. I also have Anointed Procession in those because it's also enchantment. But Anointed Procession goes in so many more decks.
You also have a personal challenge to turn every deck into a token deck.
Yeah, well, treasures are my favorite. And I guess that's the big part of this whole bracket is what's fun to you. And to me, what's fun is seeing things happen. And all Sphere of Safety does, or all Ghostly Prism does, or any of those other kind of stacksy pieces like Blind Obedience. Is that the name of your favorite card?
That's your favorite card, actually.
It's my least favorite card. They just stop play and slow down the game. And in higher level play, I actually enjoy that. But in most games, I would rather see things happening than, well, I can't attack, so I'm just going to stay here. Well, I can't cast these spells, so I'm just going to stay here.
Well, just because you mentioned Blind Obedience, I would say Ghostly Prison and Blind Obedience to two different things. Ghostly Prison is more of like a Pillow Fort, where it's not going to prevent you from doing anything. It's just going to prevent you from swinging a whole bunch of creatures at me. Whereas like Blind Obedience, your stuff comes in tapped, and so now it's preventing you from like using your treasure tokens and all that.
Yeah, preventing you using treasure tokens, but it's also preventing from me attacking you with like hasty stuff. The point is they're different, but they both prevent actions from happening in the game. And the more Magic goes, which I love, the Magic is going towards this. Let's bring more combat back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
The more it goes that way, the more I enjoy it, and that tells me that pillow forting isn't as fun. I enjoy when people are attacking. I enjoy when life totals are changing.
I mean, I played Blind Obedience for the Extort.
Yeah, which actually I was thinking about that today. I was like, if I build the Gaffer, it's if you gain 3 life this turn, draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Like Extort would actually be really good.
Yeah.
Cast a spell, pay the Extort, gain 3 life, and now you get to draw the card.
Cast a spell, pay 1 extra mana. If you've still got all 3 opponents at the table, then there's your 3 life.
Yeah, and if you cast an instant, all those white instances out there. If you cast an instant, you can pay it again, and get the life on other people's turns. I was like, that's the one place I might have to run Blind Obedience. Yes. I may have to.
Also, just another, I'm going to give Ghostly Prison a little bit of its due.
Yeah.
Most people, when they go try to win by combat damage, I feel like you're going to see them try to go wide more. You're going to see Voltron. And so... Which is when they take one creature and just beef it up to where that one creature can knock one player out by itself. And so because most people are going wide, that's where Ghostly Prison just is more effective. Whereas like against more Voltron decks, you're most likely not going to try to play Ghostly Prison against it.
Yeah, it's strong.
I don't remember what card it was, but we had one of those games. I think you were playing Najila and I was playing Krinko, but you had one of those cards out, and you were ahead of me because Najila cost 3, Krinko cost 4.
Yeah, obviously.
But you were taking care of the rest of the table, and you weren't worried about me because I couldn't swing all my goblins at you because you had, we'll just say, Ghostly Prison out. But then it got to my turn, and I dropped Brightstone Ritual after you killed everyone.
Yeah, that was and one of the best. Yeah, one of the best plays since I've been playing. That was super fun. Yeah, it had to be Ghostly Prison because because it was 2 mana, and you had, so that lets you cast.
Yeah.
Lets you attack
Well, it
with
could have
half.
been in Najila. Could have been propaganda too.
I think it was propaganda. It was
It was the same type of spell.
But
Right.
they do the
Kill
same
for it,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember how. No, it wasn't Najila because I didn't run those in Najila. It was Sigarda.
Oh, okay.
It was Sigarda because that's an enchantment. That was my aura enchantment deck.
Okay.
Another one where I would get out super early and kill everybody really fast.
You were a turn ahead of me, and you weren't worried about me in the least. And I
No.
just held on to that 1 mana instant that gives me, here's 70 mana
Yeah,
because
well,
I have
you
that many goblins.
Waited for me to kill everybody else and then took me out. Okay, next one.
Cool. Mother of Runes versus Esper Sentinel.
Oh man.
I'll start with this one since I haven't been talking the most here. Mother Runes is protection.
You tap
Read
her, target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice till end of turn.
Yeah, and Esper Sentinel is whenever a player plays a non-creature spell the first time this turn, they pay equal to his power.
Yes, his power.
Yeah, or
If
you
they
draw a card.
don't, then that player gets to draw a card.
Yeah. So here's another case where I like when things happen. Mother Runes is great, very strong, especially if you have those bigger commanders that you just have to protect, and also it's protection from creatures of a certain color.
I think it's just protection from that
So
color.
it also gets you through like a mono red deck if you need to swing with something big.
Yeah,
So-
or if someone comes at you with Mother of Runes, someone comes at you with a Path to Exile, just tap her,
Yeah.
target your creature, and say
Yeah.
protection from white.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's protection, but it also has some offensive abilities. But just drawing cards in white is way too strong. And 1 mana, if you get that Esper Sentinel out early, it's also you can tutor it up because it's an artifact as well as a creature. So if you're in white, you can tutor up from artifacts. If you're in green, you can tutor up from creatures. Super strong, love it. One of my favorite cards in white.
And it's a 1-drop.
Yeah, that 1-drop is just 1-drop in white. Just because that's going to get you going. That's going to get you. Even if you have a bad opening hand, it can fix your bad opening hand if you have it. And I will keep worse hands with Esper Sentinel in them because it's usually going to get me. Especially when people got those turn 1 Soul Rings, turn 2 Signets, which we love with our group. So.
I think every Commander player loves those cards.
Yeah, I think so too. It's not just us. I get that. And the higher up you go, you're getting a lot more of those early non-creature spells, especially like CDH. But what about you, Eli?
Yeah. Man, this is hard for me because I really like Mother of Runes. You have a lot of mommies in Magic, but you don't have a lot of mothers.
It's true.
And so it's nice being able to tap her, protect your creature. It's like a hug.
You just like tapping your mother of runes.
You gotta make
Of
it,
runes. I said of runes.
You gotta make it weird.
I
Brian.
said of
You gotta
runes.
make it weird.
I know your mother. I love your mother. I would never say anything like that. It is gross. I can't believe you would even think that.
First the pool, now this.
Wow.
I said you just didn't let me finish.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, let me finish.
But
I'm sorry.
Yeah. All good. But I have to agree with you. There's just not a lot of white card draw. So if you're making a mono white deck, Esper Sentinel is almost a requirement. So
Cycling lands.
yeah, but I need my lands.
Yeah, especially in white. Again, it goes back to the question: what do you enjoy in Magic? And drawing cards is one of those things that I enjoy. So.
And I agree with you, just drawing cards, because if you draw cards, you may get into your Smothering Tide or your Annoying Procession.
Who doesn't like asking, do you want to pay for that? Like, that's one of my favorite things in Magic.
Yeah.
It's interaction that slightly annoys your friends.
Slightly annoys you when I actually pay.
Man, yeah. We'll get into that later. The unnecessary payments that you make on my stuff. Adam, what do you think?
Grand Abolisher.
I mean, the 2 white mana pips, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's Scottie Pippen.
Oh, wow. And I took that personally.
No, I'm going Esper Sentinel. I mean, how fun is it just to say Esper Sentinel?
It's not that fun.
Well, I stand corrected.
And on the name, that is one thing. It's not Esper. It's white. White Sentinel.
It might shift my vote if Mother of Runes is pronounced with a Scottish accent.
That's true. Is it?
Probably
Read
myself.
the card. Is it?
Reading the card explains the card, Eli.
Does it say he's actually reading it? Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't, Eli.
My family protects all families.
Was that a Sam Jackson reading?
that was me pulling whatever accent I wanted out of my butt. I pulled that out of my butt.
I'm tired of these mother effing mothers. I'm a mother effing runes.
And all I did was read the flavor text.
Chitter spitter. Gee. Come on, chitter spitter. All right. So, Grand Abolisher it is. All right, so vote for Grand Abolisher and 2 not Esper, but Esper Sentinels.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Read the next one.
We're about to go into 2 hateful cards, and we're going to see what hate we hate the most. Darksteel Mutation
Ooh.
versus Wrath of God.
Ooh. I know which one I like more. Should I go first? You guys?
Well, you went first last time.
I know. You want to go? All right.
You should
You're up.
talk more, though.
You're up. I am in the middle.
This is true. I think I'm going to go Darksteel Mutation. Because I can make one person at the table feel bad, or I can make everybody at the table feel bad.
That's the politics. Is that it?
That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, thanks for your insight on the cards. What are we thinking, Eli?
This is so hard for me because with like...
Because you want to make everybody mad,
Yeah.
not just one person.
So Wrath of
Well,
God.
here's the
is
thing.
Pretty cut and dry.
I don't like board wipes that happen toward the end of the game, like turn 6 or so. I don't really like board wipes because I'm like, we're so far in this game, let's just play it out, and I don't feel like rebuilding my whole board. But at the same time, I've had so many of my commanders or creatures get elked, and Darksteel Mutation is just another version of being elked.
It was the OG elk.
Yeah, that it just honestly feels bad, and like Darksteel is so much worse because it makes your creature indestructible.
Yeah.
So you can't make a deal with someone swinging and have them kill it to get your commander back in the command zone.
It is a feel bad. Like that's
Yeah.
like Darksteel. I think is better because Wrath is what destroy all creatures.
Destroy all creatures.
They cannot be regenerated.
Yeah.
Destroying creatures isn't as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like it's all about exile now or -1/-1 counters.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many ways to give stuff indestructible I don't think it's as good as it once was. So as a card, I think Darksteel's stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But it does feel bad to play. Like,
Yeah.
Unless you don't like the person, like killing your commander is one thing when it's getting out of hand, but turning it into a 0/1 indestructible bug that
Loses all its abilities.
that just is so hard to get rid of.
Yeah. And usually, if someone's playing a board wipe, they're usually the person in last place.
Yeah.
So like at least.
Well, Wrath specifically, because Wrath resets the board, but you've already used 4 mana, right?
Yeah.
So you've already used 4 mana. So you're kind of like, all right, I have a few more mana to maybe rebuild a little bit, but then I'm passing turn, and the next 3 people have their entire turn and all their resources to start rebuilding.
Yeah, but like also just like the politics or like the social aspect of the game. If like the other 3 players see the last place player play a board wipe, they're like, okay, that sort of sucks for us, but at least the last place player is doing something to get themselves back in the game.
Yeah.
Whereas Darksteel, I feel like, is mostly used by. I've seen people in the lead use it on the second place player to widen that gap, so like they can have an easier chance winning the game.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think I'm gonna go Wrath with God. I feel like it's the least hateful in this scenario.
Okay, so Wrath, Darksteel. I'm going to go with Darksteel because you don't have to use it on the commander.
Mm.
I can avoid using it on the commander. I don't love anything that resets the game and doesn't give me some sort of advantage. Or at least put me at par with the rest of the table. Anything that's just, let's reset the game so that we can restart from turn 5 and now the game just goes another hour because everyone's rebuilding. Not a huge fan of.
But at least it's not like enchantments. It's only creatures. So if
That's
you have
true.
like
No, that's a
enchantments
good
and stuff, you can you can build up quicker
Yeah.
than probably you would have at the beginning of the game.
Good point. If I'm
And
that,
you have all your lands.
if I was in like Sithis, if I was playing Sithis, that's a very strong point. As much as I love the few creatures I have in there, because they draw me a bunch of cards, at least all my enchantments are safe. That's a solid point. So you can play around it in that way. Very good. Still going Darkseal, but it's that one's close.
Good for you. So we have two. so we have 2 wrongs and 1 right.
Was that sarcasm, or were you legitimately happy for me making a decision? Good for you. All right, I'm just listening to you, waiting for you to shut up, so we can just move along.
Probably a little bit of both.
And to be fair, Brian, we all are.
Good for you guys. All right, go to the next one then. Fine.
I will.
I'll shut up.
Next.
Okay. We have Path to Exile versus Felidar Retreat.
So Path to Exile gets the person a land.
A land.
Felidar Retreat, is that the landfall one?
That's the landfall. I can read
Okay.
it.
Yeah, go for it.
Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1, create a 2/2 white cat beast creature token, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn.
Okay, and then was it swords?
Path.
Path.
Okay. So path is exile target creature?
Yep. Its
Okay.
controller may search your library for a basic land, put that card to the battlefield, tapped and shuffle.
Okay. Start us off, sir.
I will. So, looking at those cards, we know Path to Exile is a stronger card, but I just think you can do more fun things with Felidar Retreat. And I know there's not, you probably won't see a lot in like a mono white deck, but once you'll probably see a lot in a Selesnya deck where you have a chance to like get some extra land drops on like maybe on 1 or 2 turns. So because of that, you're getting that more triggers from Felidar, and since you're in white, you can either play into your favorite card, Annoying Procession, or Modrak, and get a whole bunch of cat tokens. And who doesn't love cats?
What?
He's upset. We hurt his feelings.
I just couldn't understand what he said. Oh, you want me to go? Okay. Yeah, this is kind of a tough one. I think just the mechanics of the card, I like Felidar Retreat better, but Path is just such a staple of a card, and you can, just like Swords, you can use it on yourself to ramp yourself. Like in Feather, that's the dream play. I can just keep using it on my own creature, and then it returns to my hand in that deck. And then Felidar Retreat, I really like it in my Sovereign deck because it just compounds Sovereign's effect, where the stronger he is over his base power and toughness, the more of a boost they get when he attacks.
Okay, I can't take it anymore. All right.
Well, if you were about to start talking, I was just going to beat you and be like, I'm Brian. I like Path to Exile because of the flexibility I have for like exile my own creature and getting a land.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I don't even
Because he
need to
used
say
the
that.
in argument for Swords to Plowshare.
Yeah, just for life gain instead. Yeah, and then the Retreat, I don't see it as in as many decks. None of my favorite colors for landfall include white, and white's my favorite color in Magic. But all my landfall decks I enjoy don't have white in it, so it doesn't really pay off how I'd like for it to pay off. But I do like it in your Sovereign deck. It's fine, but it doesn't go crazy in it. Like
That with Fertilid, it kind of did go crazy. I was putting so many lands out.
yeah, I mean that's like you got how many cats out?
I didn't use it to make tokens. I was using it to put counters on all, because all
Yeah.
your creatures.
Oh,
get
your
a
counter
Yeah.
plus
+1.
that's the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get Fertilid. Fertilid comes in with a whole bunch of counters.
You give them the
2
counters
mana
back and
to remove a
Fertilid.
counter, play a land, play a counter back.
Yep.
And that's not bad. 3 cards, 2 mana.
So if you have
Uh,
6 lands, you could technically use all of your lands and get 3 lands. So next turn you'll come in with 9 or 10.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. I like it in that deck. It did well last time we played, and it was enjoyable. So
That's cool.
it's nice to see. That's cool. It was good. It was nice to see. So I like both the cards, but yeah, definitely swords for me just because I haven't
Path.
successfully. Definitely path for me. Definitely grand abolisher for me because I just
Stole my
haven't.
joke.
I just haven't seen or I haven't been able to play that card as effectively as someone like you.
Not everyone can be Eli.
I mean, it's debatable.
There is only one of me.
That's all right. Yep. Okay. What's next?
Come with the
Did
love.
we all vote? We all voted.
Well, my vote is. I'll officially say my vote is Felidar Retreat.
Mine is Belladar Retreat.
All right. Now I'll be contrarian and go the other way.
Nice. 2 rights, 1 wrong.
Your opinion is wrong.
Yeah, we had that discussion today, didn't we?
Yep.
Okay. 2 really strong cards. Knight of the White Orchid, Teferi's Protection.
And what's the Knight of the White Orchid do? That's the 2 mana.
2
got
mana.
two pips. It's got 2 pips.
2 mana pips. All right, we already
Yeah.
got a winner over here.
Yeah.
2 mana pips, ETBs, and you go search for planes if one of your opponents controls more lands than you.
Yeah, if your opponent controls more lands than you, may search a library for planes.
That's what I said.
Yeah. But you said it out of order.
It was. What was the other one?
Teferi's Protection.
Oh, Tef Pro. All right, Adam.
I thought Teferi's Protection was pretty cool when I first saw it, and now it's an all crap card. Not even because I don't like seeing it. It's just like you see the same player play it every time in the same circumstance, and it's like, man, I thought I was going to win this game, and sometimes I still do, so I didn't even accomplish anything. And then when I've played it, it didn't even really benefit me a ton. Like I still ended up just phasing back in and getting killed.
Yeah. As a player, I would rather ramp in white, and if as an opponent, I'd rather see my opponent's ramp in white. Like, all right, good for you. You know, like you started off at disadvantage, and because you only play that in a mono white deck, like
Yeah.
Knight of White Orchid doesn't go in many other decks.
Yeah.
It's usually going to be a mono white deck, but Teferi's Protection's so overdone. I'm just done with the card.
It's an extremely strong card.
Yeah.
I understand why people play it. It can be very effective. I've just not had that experience with it.
But people in CDH are not playing it as much anymore.
Really?
Because it stops you from interacting.
Yeah, that was another thing I had, because I think that I've only played the card like one time, but I watched everything go around and it's like, oh, I can't just keep to myself over here because I'm not actually here.
Yeah, it seems unfair in lower level Magic, and it seems not as good in higher level Magic, because now there are better cards that protect your board, but you as a player still get to be there casting spells with your hand.
Unless you cast a Felidar Sovereign with enough life and then Teferi's Protection. I've never done that, by the way.
Yeah, so it's I'm with you. I'm not a huge fan of Teferi's Protection, though the one in the new Secret Lair looks really cool.
Oh, the Sheldon Spellbook?
Yeah. Sheldon Spellbook.
All the cards in that look really cool.
Yeah, and we just love Sheldon, so that's a bonus.
Yeah, I've sort of had like the opposite of Adam, where like whenever I do play Teferi's Protection, if it resolves, normally when it comes back around, I do win the game, but either it resolves and I win, or it gets countered. So I've had...
But you only play Gruul.
I have some white decks.
He has a mono white deck, Adam.
I have a Celestia deck.
Yeah, he has a Celestia deck, Adam.
Adam.
Mike.
But I sort of like agree with y'all. Like, whenever I played a game where like I swung lethal at somebody, and just because I figured he had Teferi's Protection, and I was right, and the whole point of my swing was to just get the Teferi's Protection out.
Yeah.
And so like it's like, okay, I'm swinging lethal at you. There's nothing you can do, and then he plays Teferi's Protection, and he's safe till it's his turn, which it was his next turn. So he sort of got the most benefit out. He didn't have to worry about anybody else interacting. But
Yeah, I'm not saying
it's just never it's just never fun to feel like you outplayed your opponent by
Right.
having the more creatures, by having the flying creatures or whatever you're doing to try to kill them, and like they outplay you by just
Playing one card.
by playing one card. Yeah.
Yeah, and like as you said, as a player, it's gonna get countered if you cast it, if someone has a counter spell.
Yeah.
And the last time I successfully cast it, I got milled out, and I couldn't interact to win or anything.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Sean. So it's just I don't love seeing it. I don't even love playing it because I got to hold up mana for it, and then in white I usually don't want to do that because there's not a ton of other interaction. Like in blue, holding up mana is fine because you have other instances or flash speed.
Mm-hmm.
So you have if I'm not countering, at least I can do this. White just has less of that. I would be okay if that card was never printed. I'd be okay if like Cyclonic Rift was never printed. I don't want it banned, but there are certain cards, and that's one of them where I'm just like, I think Magic would be in a better place if it was never.
It feels like we're more burnt out on Teferi's Protection than we are like high on Night of the White Orchid.
It's still a strong card. Let's talk about Night of the White Orchid. In Mono White, that used to be the only way to ramp.
Yeah.
Like one
It's
of the
still
only
one of the few ways you can ramp.
They brought in so much more.
Cartographer and
Yeah.
I think there's one other one that enters the battlefield.
Well, compared to other colors, I would say.
Yeah, it was so tough to build a Mono White Angel deck back in the day because all the good Mono White Angels were big
Super
and
expensive.
beautiful, but they were strong. Or they were
cheapest ones are 4 or 5 mana.
Yeah.
Like even now with my Angel deck, I throw in a whole bunch of humans, and I have Catilda Dawnheart Prime, I believe, the one where like you can tap your humans for mana, and so like I'm literally just using my humans to help me get out my angels.
Yeah.
So even now that's still sort of an issue, but like it's not as big of an issue anymore.
And you got to remember when you first got into Magic, what did you like? Like you wanted to cast dragons, you wanted to cast angels,
Yeah.
you want to cast big beasts and stuff. And Night Orchid used to be one of the few ways to let you get there.
Like one of my first decks you helped me build was a mono white angel deck.
Yeah.
That was centered around Herald of War because it made all your angels cheaper. That's the one where like it attacks, you get a counter on it.
I was just saying that's right. Yeah, and then all your angels cost one less for each
counter on it.
Yeah,
I think it's angels and humans.
Cool. So are we going Knight?
I'm going Knight.
Yeah, I think I'd go Knight.
Yeah, Knight too, because just screw you, Teferi's Protection.
Favorite, not better.
Yeah, agreed. Teferi's Protection's better, but it's played out. So
Cool.
sorry if you like it, but you're wrong.
Sorry, Teferi.
Nah.
Next one is Lion Tutor versus Austere Command.
What's Austere Command do?
It's another board wipe, but it's chooses. Choose to destroy all artifacts, destroy all enchantments, destroy all creatures with mana value 3 or less, or destroy all creatures with mana value 4 or greater.
Man, I like both of these.
Yeah, at first I thought it was easy because let me just not pick the board wipe, but then this is the one that's really versatile. So it's like, I'm not playing enchantments and you've got 8 Smothering Ties on the board, so let me just blow all those up.
This is what we like. This is what we like in our board wipes.
Yes.
Right here.
Choice.
So, and board wipes are important. Like, they are good in Magic. They do keep a game going when someone else gets crazy. And this is specifically one of those where you can even choose something like maybe your board isn't going to be as affected, but this person who can take care of the threat has a bunch of enchantments that are good. Okay, I'm not gonna say enchantments just so the number 2 player can maybe deal with the number 1. So it's that kind of versatility that you can't even plan for. I really enjoy. But man, and Light Tutor gets me to Smothering Tithe. So I'm in a pickle. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, it's easy. Let me just pick the tutor. But tutors, while extremely powerful, are also kind of boring. It's like, hey, let me go get my win con.
True. If you use them wrong, or if you use them correctly, it's usually boring. Yeah. I use them to get Smothering Tithe. So what do you think, Eli?
Yeah. I'm sort of in the same spot as you are where, you know what, I'm going to go Austere Command. In Lion Tutor, it's a great card. Can get you into a whole bunch of fun cards, but there's not a lot. Most board wipes hit everything or a certain Yeah, most board whites are usually everything, whereas this one is one of the few that you can pick. And so because of that, I just sort of like that uniqueness for it.
Yeah.
And so just because it's a more unique board wipe, I just find that more interesting than a tutor where there's a tutor in every color that all do the same thing.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think I'd go austere command here too.
Okay. I think you guys are right, but I'm going to go Enlightened Tutor.
Because a Smothering Tithe.
Not just Smothering Tithe. Enlightened Tutor.
Monologue tax.
Enlightened Tutor gets me to everything I love to get in Magic. It gives me all my value pieces. So Enlightened Tutor is normally not going to get you to your win condition, right? But it's going to make sure your deck plays smoothly. And there's nothing I like less than sitting at a table doing nothing. It's not about winning for me. It's about doing stuff. And Enlightened Tutor is going to get me to Academy Manufacturer. It's going to get me to Esper Sentinel. It's going to get me to Monologue Tax, Smothering Tithe. If I'm in blue, Ristic Study. It's going to get me to those pieces that I want to be able to play. So I'm going to go Enlightened Tutor just because it gets me to all my favorite stuff.
Cool.
Omniscience. I love Omniscience. I had 2 Omnisciences out once, and someone still blew one up. So. Imagine that.
Well, now they're only free once.
That's true.
Does that mean you can play the spell and then copy it for free?
I cast my spell free a second time.
That does not mean that.
I'm super curious now. Why did they blow one up?
I thought it was you. Was it not you?
No. Okay.
Why don't you tell us, Eli?
Okay. I may not be the best Magic player out there, but I at least know like blowing up an Omniscience when you have a second one does absolutely nothing.
I had 2 Omnisciences. I had a couple of Smothering Tithes. I had like 200 treasures. I know that I was through. So I have a treasure chest that was gifted to me a couple years ago with 100 sleeve treasures in it. And I used all those up. So I had this stack of treasures, 2 Omnisciences, and someone still blew up Omniscience just because they could. And I didn't even win that game. I just could do anything I wanted. I just didn't have the card draw I needed. But like, it was just one of those where I looked super scary, and they're like, "Well, maybe if I get rid of one, we can get rid of another." It's like, I have 200 treasures. I don't need Omniscience.
Anymore.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
So it was just a weird like, okay, if that's what you want to blow up. And then they didn't have the enchantment removal to stop the person who actually won. So yeah, that's a whole other discussion though. Is threat assessment.
Yeah.
If you want to see us do a video or a podcast on threat assessment, leave a comment in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, like and subscribe.
Yeah. Moving on from the slander against my threat assessment or play style.
It just seems like something you would do.
You
know what? Screw you, Brian. One of your Omniscience is gone.
I just do not see myself making a play like that.
Maybe it was a Decimate and they had to pick an enchantment. I don't know.
It
I wasn't there, so.
I'm the only one that runs Decimate.
I
run
Decimate. I just never get it out.
I've never seen any of you play Decimate.
I think I played last time we got together, or no, I missed last time we got together. It was 2 times ago. I played a game where I played Decimate.
I think the only time I've had it in my hand at a table, I couldn't have a target for each one.
Yeah, you have to have target. Love that card. Anyway.
Yeah. Probably the 2 most hateful cards on this list.
So Eli's on there?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a card, man.
Eli, the hateful one.
Eli the hateful.
Eli the Wanderer.
Wolfsbane.
Elvish Norn, Grand Cenobite, Silence.
Grand Cinnabon versus Silence. Thank you. Thank you for going on with that.
Yeah. Just for those who don't know, Elvish Norn, Vigilance, other creatures you control get +2/+2. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-2.
Elvish Norn what?
Grand Cenobite.
Grand Cinnabon.
Cinnabon. She can be found in airports all around the world.
Talk about breakfast.
Silence is your opponents can't cast spells this turn. I already know what I'm picking.
Yes, we know because I've hurt you with silence, haven't I?
Yes.
Show me on the card where I hurt you, Eli.
Everywhere. Do you want to tell the story or should I tell the story?
I talk too much. Go for it.
So we were playing a game of Citadel, which we really hope to get like a Citadel gameplay out of you because it's one
a
of our
5-player game.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's one of our more fun ways to play Magic outside of just regular 3 or 4 pods. But me and one other players were bandits, meaning all we had to do was kill the king. Brian was the king. My partner played a card that...
Give me the crown.
Yeah, go ahead and give him the crown.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You go.
One of our players played a card that let him flip over our... we all revealed the top cards of our library, and he, for every creature shown, he got to create a spirit that's a copy of that creature. You flipped, it was either a Soul Warden or...
I flipped Soul Warden, someone else flipped Archangel of Thune.
I flipped over Archangel of Thune. So, Archangel of Thune is whenever you gain life, all your creatures get a +1/+1 counter.
It's all
So-
coming back to me.
Yeah.
Soul Warden.
Yeah. So he then plays a whole bunch of creatures.
Did you explain Soul Warden?
Yeah.
Soul
so-
Warden is when any creature enters the battlefield. Any creature enters the battlefield,
Yeah.
you gain a life.
Yeah. So he does that, and he then plays a whole bunch of spirits and buffs all his creatures.
This is
up.
like turn 3.
This is turn 3. This is really early. And so I'm looking at it as the other bandit, and I'm just like, hey, Kyle, if you're the bandit, swing at Brian. I revealed my hand who exactly I was in the hopes that he was the bandit, and I was right. He was the bandit. So both me and him go in on Brian. We get you down to like 3 life.
3 life. So we start. Thankfully, the king starts with 50 life.
Yeah.
You guys get me down to 3, but it's just like I'm in a life gain deck.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't enough. Everyone's against you guys. It comes around. I get my turn, gain a little bit of life. Gets around to you.
And what Brian doesn't know is I have 3 lands. I've already missed a land drop, and I'm like, we've been knocked down too much. We're not getting through to Brian. So I'm just going to play a Cultivate, just get my land and try to build up for my next turn.
But I know he's my enemy.
Yes. And then he proceeds to play Silence on my turn
And when did I play Silence?
at the very beginning.
Before your draw
In
step.
response to his upkeep.
Yeah. Before your draw step, play Silence, so you don't have a chance even like to play anything.
You don't even wait for me to try to play something. You're just like, nope, you just don't get to play.
Yeah, you don't get a turn, and it felt awful. And I've taken it out of every deck since then. I'll play it in CDH if it's worth it in there, but it felt bad seeing him deflate in that moment.
Well,
I
who
very
was
much
it earlier
played
that
him.
was talking about he likes to see just the hope?
That's
fly?
him. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
him.
that is him.
So doing it to him,
Doesn't I'm not
I'm just putting it out there.
whatever evil is
I wasn't
in there,
on
I
your
don't
team
have
in
it.
that game or anything.
Well, to be fair, I feel like that was my villain moment. That was when, like, okay, no more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm going to be hateful for the rest of my Magic career just to make up for this one moment. You created your Joker.
I mean, it was turn 3. You guys tried to kill me in a Citadel game that usually spans out. I had to do everything. That was one of those where I picked the proper play, and it worked. We won.
Yeah.
The very next turn.
yeah.
Like it didn't. It's not like you made him get stuck at having 3 lands.
Right,
for-
and you were still able. If you had a lane, you could play it. But
I did not have a line.
Yeah, it was a good play. It was a ruthless play.
it was so brutal.
But
Yeah.
we won the game.
yeah, and it felt awful. And that's one of those moments where it's like I won, but I didn't feel good afterwards. And if that happens, take that card out of your deck. Like, it's
Yeah,
not. It's not
I
worth
usually run Silence to protect the turn I'm
Right.
trying to win the game. Like if I think I can win. All right, let me silence the blue player, and then play my win card.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to play that in a casual game, and we play casual Magic.
Yep.
So I definitely like stealing a whole turn from somebody feels awful. I don't like it in Uno whenever it just like how quick those turns are.
Skip.
Yeah, so it's like getting skipped in Uno. We should totally have skip as the silence. Anyway, yeah. So I don't like getting skipped in Uno. I definitely don't like it. But we have another story for Grand Cinnabon.
Oh yeah, that was a great game. So we were playing. I was playing Yuriko, and someone, I believe it was Sean, someone at
Yeah.
the table dropped Elish Norn.
Sean.
So I'm about to lose my whole board, and then I think, wait a second, and I think I even asked you before I did it. It's like, could I copy that, and then this will work the way I think it does? And yeah,
You copied
it did.
yours resolves first.
Yep. So I copied it. So then 2 players were getting -4, -4, and 2 players were getting nothing.
Yeah.
And
They canceled out.
So I kept all my ninjas and all my unblockable creatures, and then I think someone removed Sean's Elish Norn.
Yeah, was it me and Kyle?
I think you removed it.
No, I mean, was it me and Kyle that were the other two players?
No, I think Kyle was playing with us at that point. I think it was Eli, actually.
Was it you?
Maybe.
All right. Either way, it sucked to be in that game because like I can't play any creatures. This is why I love Elish Norn. One of my favorite arts in all of Magic. Just the character design is gorgeous. It's beautiful, and I love the art of Magic. But to sit there, like a board wipe's one thing. To just have a state of you can't play creatures that aren't
Toughness 2 or less.
Yeah, or in that case, 4 or less.
Yeah,
Which is pretty much everything.
that's probably a corner scenario.
Yeah, but the point is that even just all your value pieces that are 2 or less, board wipes are one thing, but not being able to cast stuff and have it stick to the board. You get your ETB, then it dies. Like that felt bad. Again, you losing a turn or just not being able to play. That's why we don't love stacks pieces in general. We really don't play them in our play group.
No.
I like stacks and the little bit of CDH I've played. I enjoy stacks and CDH, but it's a whole different ballgame, whole different scenario. So all right, votes.
I think I would go Silence just because Elish Norn is a crap card every time it comes out.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone enjoy Silence either. I'm gonna go Elish Norn.
I'm gonna go Cinnabon.
All right, the Cinnabon, and I don't feel good about either deciding either.
I mean,
of
if you
those.
play Silence the right way, people don't feel that.
True.
Yeah. But
And if
I
you
feel
play
bad
Elish Norn
about
as a win con, it's fine as well.
Well, yeah, if you're going to win the game, but if you're just dropping Elish Norn on turn 4 and it's your second creature to hit the board.
just to play a stacks piece to slow everybody down.
Yeah.
Okay, next matchup is Mentor of the Meek
Nice.
versus Archivist of Ogma.
Oh, come on. Why you got to give me the good, like, just swap one of those?
No,
I hate you.
no, numbers chose. The numbers have chosen.
All right.
Mecodes of the Meek.
Archivist of Ogma draws you a card if somebody searches their library and gains your life.
Yes, and you gain
Okay.
life.
And then Mentor of the Meek is if a creature 2 or less power comes in, you can pay 1 and draw a card.
Yes.
All right. I really like both those cards. What do you think, Adam?
I think I would go. You said Archivist of Ogma, right?
Archivist of Ogma.
I would go with the Archivist because.
They're both white card draw, so.
Yeah, it's white card draw, and while it does depend on what your opponents are doing, it is free card draw. Whereas Mentor of the Meek, you have to pay 1 or 2.
1.
You have to pay the extra mana to draw the card, which most of the time isn't that big a deal, but white isn't the best color with ramp, and if you don't have a ton of land out, you can't always pay the 1.
Yeah, those are both really good points, man. Like, you're drawing cards. I love them both because they're cheap, and you're drawing cards. Archivist is 2 mana, and Mentor's 3.
I think they're.
I think Mentor's 3 mana, but check that out.
I've been wrong most of today. It is 3 mana.
Yeah, I mean, white's my color. This is stuff
You can tell.
I.
I say as like I'm literally the whitest person here.
Oh, is that a race joke?
Oh,
First.
Whoa!
Really?
What kind of a channel did I sign up for? Come on, guys.
All right, we're sorry.
Expletive.
Yeah. Man, this is a tough one. You got anything to say on it? So
I like
decide.
it. Adam sort of pointed out, but I like it because
Really good points.
yeah, I like it because Mentor of the Meek. I only have to worry about myself. I don't have to worry about like what everybody else. If Archivist of Ogma is flash, so normally the first time you're playing it is the first time someone is tutoring, so you're at least guaranteed 1, but you're never certain it.
Same point today.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you never.
Oh, look, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, my screensaver popped up.
But you never know if someone else is going to tutor, and you never know when you're going to get Archivist of Ogma out. You could be getting it turn 4 after everybody's already used like
Well, it's
their
tutor
land
or it's
ramp.
ramp or it's like anything that like that you're
Yeah,
searching.
but usually by turn 4, people
It's
aren't
land
ramping
tutor.
aren't using their land ramps. They may use their
Yeah,
tutors.
Sean, use your land ramps so I can counter them, Sean.
But, yeah. Normally at that point you got.
You'll get that joke in like 3
yeah.
months.
Normally you're gonna have to like hope that they play in like more so like an aligned tutor or idyllic tutor.
Right.
But you just depending on like the power of your table, you're not guaranteed. Whereas Measure of the Meek, you can literally build your deck around it. Usually, I say build, not like you can put it in your deck and know you're gonna get
Yeah.
value from it.
That's
I think it's more
yeah.
guaranteed than the other one is.
True. Both of them are really good, and I like them both at different power levels. Higher level Arquebus Ogma I enjoy much more. It's whichever one draws me the most cards is going to be good. At mid to lower, I like Mentor the Meek, like you said, because you're going to have lower levels. You're not always able to use all your mana. They're slower games, and you're going to be playing these kind of chump kind of cards that are going to trigger it, and you're in control, which is nice. I also have like nostalgia for Mentor the Meek because that was my mono white card draw
Yeah.
forever.
I think my first deck I built, Mentor the Meek, was in there.
Yeah, it's like that. So, man, I'd rather play Arquebus. If I had to have one or the other card, I'd probably play Arquebus though. I enjoy Arquebus more, but man, it's close. Mentor the Meek is a really close second.
Yeah, this is going to be weird, but I think I like the art of Mentor the Meek better than Arquebus Argon. I think it's a personal thing where, like,
You just don't like short people.
you cannot. If anybody cannot like short people, I cannot like short people because I am short. But I think in terms of like the art,
I'll let
always
Chuck know.
yeah. I've always leaned more toward like
relevant.
thinking D&D. When we play that, I usually like my more fighter characters more. So Mentor the Meek, the art depicts more of a fighter, whereas Archivist of Armall depicts more of a
librarian.
A librarian, yeah.
Well, Mentor the Meek's a soldier.
Yeah, do you want to be a soldier
Yeah.
or do you want to be a librarian? I'd rather be a soldier.
What's funny is I was both. Like literally in the Navy, my job was combatant and librarian. It's the weirdest job in the world.
Yeah, but in medieval times, they're not going to make a soldier a librarian.
So you're picking the
I think I'm going to go Mentor the Meek,
the
yeah.
fresh maker.
Mentor, the fresh maker. It's a good joke. All right.
The fresh meeker. No,
And
too-
it got
too much.
worse. Yep. You should have stopped.
Yeah.
I'm leaving that in. All right.
Okay, good. Good. I make bad jokes.
Good. Great. Fine. Love it.
Cool.
No yelling on the bus. I would pick the other one. What was it?
Archivist of
Archivist
Ogma.
If it's not Grand Abosher, he doesn't know the
Yeah,
name.
Grand Abolisher. I'm going to pick it again. It's got just a full ride to the championship.
Next.
All right. Next one. We got it.
What was you, Brian?
Archivist.
Archivist?
Yeah, it's so close, though. But yeah.
Does that make a good name for a D&D character? The Archivist.
Or the Arcanist. I mean, either way.
Either way, yeah.
Well,
Tomato, Grand Abolisher, motto.
Tomato, tomato.
well, we already mentioned one of these cards before, and I already know which one you're not going to pick. Shram, Senior Edificer versus Blind Obedience.
Blind obedience all the way. We already talked about it. Extort.
Built SRAM tough. So SRAM's actually a good card.
Yeah.
It was one of
Hey, it's white card
I'm
draw.
laughing because it's so wrong.
what is the RAM one?
Got a Hemi? I don't know.
I totally thought I was right. I totally.
This is the face of the person who missed the joke.
No, it's built Ford tough. Built Ford tough is the saying. And I was trying to say built Ram tough, and changed it to SRAM tough, and thought I was so clever.
Okay, that elevates my previous joke.
Yeah, what's the Ram saying now? There's got to be one.
I think it's just that thing got a Hemi.
No, that was like a commercial.
I don't think Ram has a
It has a saying. They all had one. Like a Rock with Chevy, built Ford tough, not a sponsor.
Dodge. That's who makes the Ram.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
There you go.
If you can dodge a ram, you can dodge a wrench.
If you can dodge a SRAM, you can win in Magic.
All right. Anyway, built SRAM tough, which now I'm building him in Moxfield, was like one of the OG mono white commanders that actually functioned.
Mm-hmm.
So he lets you draw a card if you play aura, vehicle, or equipment.
Yes,
All right.
you get a cookie.
How long ago did it do that?
Oh, I just now noticed it. It's still recording, but it's just low
Is it?
battery.
Okay, go low power mode.
Will it still record in low power mode?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. All right, cool. And we're back.
Yeah.
Man in the can, get back in that can. Okay,
Yeah,
so
this is where you
SRAM,
and blind obedience.
blind obedience.
So it's either do you want to have fun or do you want to make sure nobody else gets to have fun?
I mean, mono white card draw all the way.
Yeah.
I don't like bringing in people's stuff tapped. It leaves them vulnerable to attacks.
What's the point?
You never play it that way. It just happens.
I told you, I play for the X-Store.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But another thing that blind obedience does is if somebody has a treasure combo to win a game.
Me, not just combos, just treasure in general as my ramp, and you shut it down every time.
For a turn.
Never for no. You shut down like I can't chain into things.
That's the point I'm trying to make is if I play blind obedience, that prevents a treasure deck from just going off. Like, let me make this big play that makes more treasures, and then make this big play and make more treasures, and you keep looping it. If I get a blind obedience, you can't do that.
Yeah, I can play one thing, and then wait a turn for my treasure on tap so I can play one thing. It just slows the game down and
It slows your deck down.
not just my deck. It slows every deck down. It's not just mine. It
I'm
slows.
talking about in the specific game.
Right.
It slows.
I'm saying what I don't like about the card is it slows the game down, and in Commander we don't need slower games. I think most people enjoy playing decks for around an hour, and then they want to play a different deck afterwards. Or if their deck's not working, they want to get into another game so they can play another game. Am I wrong?
An hour to 2 hours, I would say. I'm good with playing the same deck for 2 hours.
I mean, if you
but
like the people at the table 2 hours, but I can play with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I played some games where, like, you're like that one person and you're just watching the other three just argue with each other, and it's just not fun.
Yeah. Thankfully, it doesn't happen in our group.
But they're usually not arguing over blind obedience.
Unless it's me and you.
I've seen both of y'all argue about it.
I'm not saying we haven't, but I'm saying those games that go like 3 and 4 hours, it's not usually because of blind obedience. Usually because build a stack that's this high.
It's only in Feldergriff. But yeah, so I'm strongly in the camp of drawing cards is better than stringing out games. I do like some long games with the right people, but most games I feel like most players want to play their deck, see how they do, at least in casual. Play their deck, see how they do, and either try again if their deck's not playing right, or, okay, this played well, let me play a different deck.
Yeah, I remember granted, I don't think any stacks pieces came out, but I remember we were doing like our pre-con game.
Yeah.
My deck just...
That took forever.
Yeah, that took forever, and I feel like my deck was the one that did not go off, whereas everybody else's did. And so I was like, I really wish this game someone had won that game earlier, so maybe we could play another one, and I could have.
Yeah.
Maybe my deck would have played better.
I tried to, but then he wiped the board.
I wiped the board then won, though.
Yeah, I know.
So
And that was already like in the 4-hour mark
yeah,
at that point. Yeah.
that game took forever. But yeah, so that's obviously my choice.
And I think my choice is obvious.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Shram.
So you like it because it stops people from going off and winning.
The X-Store.
And the X-Store. See, I've never seen X-Store like do well. It's just fine.
It's just not supported enough. I do
Yeah.
like the mechanic, but it's not
I
supported
do too.
enough.
I wish they
Yeah.
had a strong extort type of deck.
Yeah.
Or support.
Yeah, the decks I run it in, they're usually slower decks, so I need to slow everyone down a turn in order to be in the game. I don't just throw it in every white deck.
Right. Cool. Yep. Slow stuff down to get in the game. All right. So what was your vote?
I think I'm going to go Shram.
Okay. Cool. All right. How many more we got?
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 left.
Cool. We should be able to finish that before stuff dies.
Yeah. So next one is Farewell versus Land Tax.
I like both of these. I like both of them.
The best board wipe.
Yeah, that's Exile, right?
Yeah, and you get to choose the It's
modes
modal, and you
again.
could choose everything, or you could choose
Yeah.
just creatures.
Exile all artifacts,
Yeah.
exile all creatures, exile all enchantments,
Yeah,
exile
that's so
all
good.
graveyards.
And 6 converted mana cost.
Yes.
And then land tax is a 1-drop. What's the trigger on it?
1 drop, beginning of your upkeep, if there's one of your opponents, one or more of your opponents,
Yes.
has more lands than you, go search for
So it's just
planes.
upkeep trigger.
Search for 3 planes
Yeah.
They go to
and
your
put them in
hand.
your hand.
Or just 3 basic lands, so you
Sorry,
can put,
3 basic lands.
Yeah, because you
that's,
can put
that's
this.
important.
Yeah,
That's
you can
important.
put in like another mono.
Yeah, I'd play it in Orzhov. I'd play
Orzhov,
it in
Selesnya.
Selesnya. No,
Yeah.
not Selesnya.
Oh, that's fair.
Esper.
Too much rant.
Esper. I'd put it in. Probably in Boros too. Everything but Selesnya.
Yeah. So yeah, both of those are really good cards. It's just one of those things. I don't hate a board wipe, but like when it gets to like, and I've said this before, when it gets further into the game, at 6 mana, you're playing that further into the game. I just don't like resetting the board. It goes back to what you're saying. I'd rather someone go ahead and win rather than reset our current game.
Turn 5, turn 6 isn't terrible for a board wipe.
But I feel like maybe just because of the decks we've been playing recently, usually someone's winning by like turn 6 or 7. So normally someone's like trying to win the game at that point.
Right, and it stops that person in first from winning. I think it's really good, but
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not good. I just
yeah, you don't enjoy it.
I
You
just
don't
don't enjoy
You don't
it.
enjoy the board wipes. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
If you could live in a world where Magic had no board wipes, would you?
Ooh. No, because there's certain flavor of board wipes that I like. For example, there's the Lord of the Rings one where you can choose a number and you'll destroy all creatures with that are greater than that number. And I have Arcades deck and I run in there, so I'm gonna choose 0, keep all my walls, and just destroy all your creatures. Then I can easily just pay to get Arcades back out, or I have other enchantments that do the same exact thing. So then it's just a free swing at y'all. So that one is more of like a win con, whereas Farewell feels more like a let's reset.
Reset the game. That's good.
Yeah.
Good point, Adam.
Yeah, if I'm going to run a board wipe, it's most likely going to be Farewell because of the versatility to where I can take care of artifacts or enchantments or creatures.
You don't have to reset the board, the whole
you don't
game.
have to. Like
you
if
can
I'm
just knock out the guy that has the most creatures or most enchantments.
to go back to the Sith example, if I'm running an enchantment deck, well, let me get rid of all the artifacts and creatures. Or if I'm running my new Krinko deck, well, I can't put it in there, but if I'm building an artifact deck, I can. Hey, let me get rid of everything that's not an artifact. I just love the versatility.
It's good. It's good. It is one of my favorite board wipes. I love land tax, though. Again, going back to just the mono white days where you could not ramp for nothing, and not only that, and it doesn't technically ramp you unless you have Sun Titan. It doesn't technically ramp you, and you actually don't want to ramp with it. You want to ramp through artifacts or through treasures, which is what I like to do. It's gonna thin your deck out. Like I'm not a huge like, oh, I play this fetch lane just to thin my deck out by 1 card. Like 1 card's like, it kind of increases your likelihood of getting a non-land. But when you're pulling 3 out every single turn, like you really get to that point where you just have your non-basics, and then it's all good stuff after that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you also get hated on for playing land tax.
Only-
Don't you have like a Magic Con story?
Yeah, so I was at MagicCon, and this guy who I've never met before, right? And MagicCon's amazing. It's great. And they have this really, really fun thing where they, like, if it's me and Adam and we're like, hey, we need 2 people for our pod, kind of mid-level game, they'll go and find 2 people. Hey, 2 for mid, 2 for mid, 2 for high, 2 for
casual.
high. 2 for, yeah. I thought they had power levels, but
They walk around with signs that say casual or competitive or whatever.
Right. Yeah,
Anyway,
we'd have
continue.
anyway. So they find people who are playing at your level and bring them to your table. So this guy, I've never met him before. We just barely greeted. He goes first. I go second. I'm playing mono white Mondrak. He's playing black white. It's actually a really fun game. So we go around turn 1. I play mono or land tax turn 1, which is awesome. Great. Goes around to him and he doesn't put a land down. And I'm like, man, this dude just kept a one land hand. What an idiot. It comes to me, and I'm all right. Well, no trigger, so I placed, and it really screwed me up for a few turns because no one was really ramping. There wasn't a ton of green at the table, and after the game, he said, "Yeah, I didn't play a land just to screw you over." It's like, what is it about my face that? Because, dude, I didn't win one game at MagicCon. It was just something about people were stealing my commander. Again, first game I ever played him. We're playing casual tables. People stealing and keeping my commander. I kill my commander, bring it up, they steal it again.
That's my thing.
Yeah, that's what you do to me. That's what my friends do to me, not strangers. And then like I'm swinging at the threat at the table, and their wife just kills all my stuff. Just because they won't want me to get a little bit of value, even though that person is clearly the threat. And I loved every match I played, but man, I was like, something about me that people are like, I feel comfortable just making him miserable.
You're just like lying to you. This deck's casual, Mox Diamond.
Yeah, that's a casual deck. Mox Diamond, steal your stuff. Don't let you play. Yeah,
My deck's terrible, but I'll be playing your deck.
Yeah. My Mox Diamond stuff's bad, so let me play your actual low level stuff. Because I think that was like, I wanted to say we were even like lower than casual because they had more than one side. Either way, because I was playing my copy stuff deck, so where my commander is important. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Man, we can admit that. Land Tax is not the better card, but it has a special place in my heart, so I'm going with
Gotcha,
Land
yeah.
Tax. And it's probably not going to win, but that's okay.
That's fair, and I mean, I'm just not a fan of board wipes, so I'm just going to go with Land Tax also.
Wow. Farewell. You're right.
Bye.
This one, your opinion is correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next one is Flawless Maneuver versus Idyllic Tutor.
Flawless Maneuver's the free one, right?
Flawless Maneuver is, I'll read it besides just paraphrasing it.
So it's pretty easy for me.
Yeah. If you control a commander, you may cast a spell without paying its mana cost. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn.
Since I ended the last one, I'll start this one. As much as I enjoy getting my Smothering Tithes and stuff, Idyllic Tutor is not my favorite tutor. And it does bring it to your hand, which is nice. But there's so much stuff on turn 3 I enjoy playing more. I don't want to be searching up something on turn 3, and I like protecting my stuff. I do like protecting my stuff. When I get a board state, especially in white, I want to keep it there. So I'm a fan of Flawless Maneuver.
I'm not sure which way I go with this, because I feel like there are so many other ways to give your creatures indestructible or to protect your creatures in white.
True, but for free in white, word stuff to ramp.
That's also true. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I'm going to use your argument about getting your favorite enchantment as my reason for, I think I'd rather have Idyllic Tutor in my deck, and I think I have more fun with it than I would with a Flawless Maneuver.
Oh, yeah, solid. I mean, enchantments in white are great, so.
Yeah.
It's just the limitation of just being enchantments, and it's 3 mana. It's not as good as I'd hoped it would feel to play it. So, but I don't think you're wrong. I think these are both very close.
Yeah, I'm going Flawless Maneuver. I just think it's a fun card to play when you can, and then you can always play it in response to your Wrath of God.
Yeah, your own Wrath of God.
Yep.
It's for free.
Argument, Idyllic Tutor, Sphere of Safety. You're probably already playing an enchantment deck, so just go get Sphere of Safety to protect all your stuff.
True, but I didn't vote for Sphere of Safety, so.
Yeah.
It wasn't even on the list.
No, it wasn't.
And why would I vote for it if it wasn't on the list? Yeah, no.
Or Ghostly Prison. That one is on the list.
Both are good. I will say I wish all the free. If you have your commander cards, I'm not a fan of any free spells. I'm going to say that right now. I wish free spells weren't in Magic. I think there's something about being able to observe someone's board and play to their board state that is important to Magic. So when you start putting in free spells, you just like, who knows? Who knows what they have in their hand?
That's true.
I like the ability to, okay, they have a white mana up, they have a blue mana up, they have a red mana up, whatever it is. So they can play stuff and I got to play around it. Now there's just they have a card in their hand. They could counter this. There's zero intellect that goes into that.
Yeah, I know. Like I've made moves. Like, okay, I'm in position to make a big move. Let me look at least the blue players and see if they have mana open. Oh, he's tapped out. He's tapped out. If I'm gonna make a move, now's the time to do it. Make that move. Fierce Guardianship.
Well, your Teferi's protection play. I'm going to attack him. He's got 3 mana open. I'm going to attack him to get the Teferi's protection out of his hand.
Yeah.
And you do that, and then you play your win con. That feels good. So it removes the feels good stuff. So, but this is the world we live in. This is the magic we live in. I'm going to say Flawless Maneuver.
Okay. I'm going to go with Idyllic Tutor.
Flawless Maneuver.
All right.
Cool. Okay.
Flawless Maneuver.
I think that too.
One of these is my favorite card. Cathar's Crusade versus Draenith Magistrate.
Ugh. Is Cathar's Crusade really your favorite card?
It's one of my favorites.
Okay.
It was also one of the first cards that I ever got for Magic.
Yeah, so I finally had my first good interaction with Draenith Magistrate. On the Brothers of War gameplay channel. If you're not following them, go like and subscribe to Brothers of War.
EDH.
Brothers of War EDH channel.
Nailed it.
Got it. Man.
And
not awkward at all. No, but they, Christopher Chapman of the Brothers of War played a Draenith Magistrate, and it gave me the time I needed to get my 5 mana commander out. Versus everyone else had lower mana commanders. So it stalled the game to get to a healthy point where the mono red player playing Krinko did not win right away. And it was nice. So it was a really good game.
So you like cards that stall the game?
In CEDH, I do, and that's what I said. And I like it in competitive, in high-level Magic, where there's proper threat or where people put proper interaction in their decks. When you're playing it casual, I don't like it. That being said, as much as I like, Cathar's Crusade is so strong, especially in go-wide strategies. I hate keeping up with the counters because you need individual dice, you need individual cards, and I get 10, 20, 40, 100. I think in the last gameplay channel, I got like 160 creatures out. And so it's like, I don't have 160 tokens to put an individual die on each one.
Yeah.
So it's just not manageable. If it was just like an online game, Cathar's Crusade 100% of the time.
That doesn't really bother me. Granted, I don't think I've ever gone like hundreds of creatures out. I admit, at the most, I'm using it when I have like maybe 20 or 30 creatures out. Because in all honesty, if you have 20 creatures out and you just play a couple more creatures and bump up all those creatures, you usually have enough power to either win the game or knock out anybody you feel like is threatening enough to do something to your board.
Yeah.
But me, I like playing with the dice. I'm a little bit of a fidgeter, so I like messing with the dice and like putting a whole bunch of dice on creatures because it's fun seeing all your dice laid out on all your big creatures and then being like, okay, who do I want to swing at and kill this turn?
What engineers do for fun. I think
we do math.
I think that's very valid. Good point, Adam.
Yeah, I'm with you on Cathar's Crusade. It's not the most fun card to play, although I do feel like it should be in my Sovereign deck because I'm already doing that.
Yeah, you already have individual, and you don't go so wide in Sovereign.
Yeah,
where it's unmanageable.
I have a little bit of a token strategy, but it's not. It's bonus if I get that out.
You should put it in there.
Yeah, but I think for that reason, and I've honestly never run or even come up against a Draenith Magistrate.
So here's the bad thing about Draenith Magistrate. If it comes out, you can't cast your command.
Yeah, I'm aware of what the card does, and that's probably why I've never run into it, because our group is pretty good about, with
not
one or two
playing those
exceptions, most people don't play those hateful cards. But I think I would pick Draenith Magistrate just because I don't like keeping up with all the dice, and it's like, oh, I cast one creature. All right, wait. Isn't this boring?
Yeah.
Not for you.
Thanks for that.
I'm done now.
Yeah. No, solid choice. I'm actually going to go Catherine's Crusade because we're talking about casual Magic here. We're talking about fun, and Drannith isn't fun and casual. I enjoy it in CDH, but Catherine's Crusade. I would rather watch someone else play Catherine's Crusade than a Drannith Magistrate, and I would probably rather play that too.
I was about to make another point, but you already made the point about it slowing the game down. And if,
Right.
if I'm playing Miram or something that's a high CMC commander and someone plays a Drannith Magistrate on turn 2, it's like, I'm okay with that. So hopefully in the next 3 rounds,
true.
someone's going to get rid of it.
Right. And a mirror in red, you can bolt it. You can, get rid of it somewhere or another. Cool. And definitely Catherine's for you.
Yeah, definitely Cathars.
All right, is this the last one?
It's like an $11 or $12 card now.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's been going up.
I pulled that one once. Once upon a time.
I have like 2 or 3 of them.
Was it in Avison restored?
I think when I got mine, it was like
It's
I said, I
around
got
that
it.
time.
Yeah, I got it when I was first playing Magic, and I think it was gifted. But I think when I was gifted, it was only like maybe $2 or $3.
No, it was Dark Ascension. It was our first. I want to say it was our first set. Anyway, we'll look it up. We'll put it in there.
Yeah. Last one, Unbreakable Formation versus Savine's Reclamation.
So poor man's flawless maneuver.
Yeah, Poor Man's Flawless Maneuver. And then, like, when I was making this list, this was the first time I heard of Savine's Reclamation.
Read Savine's Reclamation again.
Yeah, return target permanent card with a mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, you may copy this spell and may choose a new target for the copy, and its flashback cost is 5.
See, that sounds more fun to me. I also haven't played that card. That sounds more fun to me.
And a big thing to notice is it said permanent.
Yeah,
It didn't
so
say
lands,
creature.
lands
So
can
you-
also
yeah,
come back.
You can go get a land, you can go get an artifact, you can get whatever you need.
Yeah, what's nice about
From your
that,
graveyard.
because even though it's not protection and the other one protects your stuff, if your stuff gets blown up, then this is, I don't have to hold up mana in white to protect my stuff. This is, okay, after my stuff gets blown up, I can rebuild and get my stuff back that I like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm misreading the card, but it costs 3, and its flashback cost is 5.
Mhm.
So it says when you play it from your graveyard, you make a copy of that spell. So you're technically, if you use the flashback cost, you're getting a total of 9 value if you get a 3 mana cost each time for a total of 8. So there is a positive to that.
Yeah, I mean, 5 mana, like, I'd almost,
5 mana for 6.
I'd
yeah.
rather play from my graveyard than from my hand, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you do
But-
play from your
yeah.
hand, that's a total of like 9 mana
Yeah,
cost.
I
you
own the
can go
card.
get.
I know the art. I
Yeah.
just have not put it because I don't really care as much about the 3 CMC stuff. If it was 4 CMC, it'd be in there every time. But also, it can get your tutors back.
That's
Is it
also
permanent?
No, it's permanent.
Oh,
It's
never mind.
permanent,
Never mind.
yeah.
It can't get your tutors back, is what I was saying.
Yeah.
It's dumb. Why would I do that?
true. Man, you know magic.
Oh, Grand Abolisher, come on.
Obviously.
Obviously,
You can go use this to go get your Grand Abolisher back.
this is true. Do me a favor and can you read Unbreakable Formation? Because I feel like it has another
has a second-
ability.
yeah,
on
it
it.
That's
has a
right.
second-
It does
a
have a
second
second
clause.
ability.
You got to read the fine
which-
print.
Yeah, creatures you control gain indestructible to end of turn, and then addendum. If you cast this spell during your main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures, and they gain vigilance until end of turn.
Yeah, so that should also go in Sovereign.
Yeah, it's literally I think it is in there. It's literally the landfall trigger from Felidar Retreat, which is also in Sovereign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes this one a little tougher. Because Savine's Reclamation is really cool, but they're both kind of a niche card. Both very strong. Man, I think I might go.
I feel like Savine's Reclamation goes in more stuff than this does. This is
Mhm.
specifically +1/+1 counters in white. Because if you're not, I mean, there's better protection spells.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then Indestructibles also
Maybe
can be
it
really
was
strong.
That's what I'm saying. There's better indestructible spells, unless you just want that +1/+1. I feel like it's the only reason you put in a deck is for the
I
+1/+1
probably have some
counters.
recency bias right now because I just built and played Sovereign within the last couple of months.
Right.
So that's probably why.
Well, Sovereign would be great.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm thinking Unbreakable Formation, but I think I don't know. I've never really played Savine's Reclamation.
Unbreakable Formation was from. No, it wasn't from Theros. I just remember. I remember pulling this card,
Oh, I don't know
Yeah, I remember pulling this card, and I don't know. I just remember reading it, and I'm like, this isn't that good. And so when I was making this list, I was very surprised out of all the mono white cards that made the list.
Do you remember where it was at on the top 32?
Um,
I know it's a staple for white.
I didn't know that. I think it was more toward the bottom, but even still, I feel like there are a whole bunch of other white cards out there that I thought would have made it over than that. And I just for me, I
There
don't
is a lot of white graveyard recursion.
Yeah,
So that's a good.
Well, not Savine's Reclamation for Unbreakable Formation.
Oh, I got you.
I thought Unbreakable Formation.
I didn't think that one would. Yeah, I didn't think Unbreakable Formation would be in the top.
Because I've built decks and I looked at even when I had my early decks and I'm like, this doesn't seem like a good card, and I don't understand why I would put it in there.
It's a good card. I mean, giving your stuff indestructible, especially used to be really, really strong. But since Flawless Maneuver came out, I feel like it's much worse because Flawless Maneuver is just better unless you're in counter synergy.
Yeah, maybe that when I just first had the card, I was still very new to Magic. It was just one of those things. I feel like it's maybe this is a card I would say is probably overrated, and I would not have expected it to hit top 32.
So are you saying Savine's Reclamation?
I'm probably going to move toward, I think Savine's Reclamation is a lot more interesting, and is possibly a lot more fun in terms of what cards you go and get out of your graveyard.
Yeah. Board wipes feel bad, so
Savine's
Reclamation feels good. You're going...
I think I'd stick with Unbreakable Formation.
Unbreakable Formation.
Might be that recency bias. Haven't just built a deck that it's perfect for. But.
Yeah. 1+1/+1 counters are fun.
Yep.
Well, great. Well, those are our picks.
What was your pick?
Mine was Savine's Reclamation.
Okay.
And they're both good. They're both strong.
Yeah.
I think if you didn't
No wrong answer.
If you didn't have Flawless Maneuver, I think I would pick the opposite. But since you do have Flawless Maneuver, I don't think I put two of those in the same deck.
That's fair.
But yeah, those are our picks. Please go vote, and we'll get as many votes in. And then when we do our next Mono White round 2, we will reveal the picks, and we will have those ones battle. Right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have anything else to say? Anything to plug? Butts.
Butts. I will not be plugging in my butt.
Stuff was coming out of your butt earlier, so you might need to get a little Christmas tree.
Well, to be fair, we're all
Counterspell.
talking out of our butts.
Silence the stuff out of your butt.
Counterspell.
All right. Well, on that note,
A little flat.
Stay nerdy out there. Thanks for watching and staying the whole time. The two of you that are left, we appreciate you. Have a good afternoon, evening, night.
Embrace the chaos.
Embrace the chaos.
Bye.